I want to reflect very slightly and heatedly at the State of the Union address that Trump gave yesterday. On top of all his weird accolations, we're the best, I'm the greatest, this is all the best and stuff, it's just so mixed in with misinformation. It's really bad. He's like, oh, all economic woes are over. With 44% of Americans working jobs that are $18,000 a year or less, most of them in the prime working age between 21 and 52 years of age. We have 69% of Americans who can't afford a $1,000 emergency. I don't have the exact statistics in front of me right now, but I'm just going to pop them off as best as I can. It's like something like 85% of stocks are owned by like 16 or 17% of the population. So we're talking about the upper class essentially owning the majority of stocks. So when the stock market's doing well, it's not the general everyday person. He talks about unemployment levels being low, but unemployment levels are skewed. I will probably do this on another show where I go in depth on how those numbers just include part-time work and super low wage work, as that people can't even survive on these things, but they just count them as being employed, yet they can't survive on the money they make on unemployment. I mean, I could just go on and on. It's one thing after another. That's just misinformation and ridiculous bullshit accolades that he gives himself. And there are a couple things that really irked me. One, I will say, is how he uses people as tools all the time. And one of the things that really got me was when he was talking about this, he was talking about the school voucher, and he brought this child up there, and the child has a single parent. And I relate to this because I was the only child raised by a single parent. My dad passed away a month after I was born, and I was raised by my mom, my grandparents and stuff. And I went to a private school. It kind of got stuff together in a lower middle income class family and put me through private elementary school. And this deteriorating school system that we have, because they keep defunding it and then giving tax breaks to the wealthy. And then you have to have these weird private and charter schools and everything else where you have to have a voucher to go to. So he touts this broken system that he's integrating in the school system. And then he brings this child and uses the child as a tool, like a game show, like he's giving away a prize. And that's where his comfort zone is, because he's a game show host. So he talks about the mother basically saying that this mother would do anything to have her child have a better education. And my first thought that came to mind was, yes, including having you use her child as a tool in order to have a better education for her child. She's willing to make that sacrifice. And sure enough, as soon as I think that he comes out with this whole, your dreams are going to come true because you're going to get that voucher right here and stuff. And I think, what the fuck is this? The fucking Hunger Games? You're having people compete to win a voucher for their child, or people who can't barely make ends meet, and you're just using them as little props and tools? You fucking prick. Fucking pisses me off. Yeah, just furious at that. The other thing is, most people don't want foreign interference regime change that we keep doing from country to country to country. We don't want it. Venezuela is number 11 now in oil production. It used to be in top 10. Now it's number 11. Them and Iran are the only ones in the top 11 that the United States doesn't either control the oil outright. These are top oil producing countries. Iran and Venezuela are the only two that we don't control outright, have a partnership in, or are controlled by either China or Russia, a superpower like that. And all we do is talk about wars with those two countries. We're just a shill for fossil fuel companies, which is infuriating, as if they care about our military. Just send people to die so we can figure out more oil. Another reason why I like Bernie Sanders is because of his complete infrastructure energy change program that will just get us completely off all of that. But back on to Trump, who then basically brings on a U.S.-backed president to take over from Maduro in Venezuela. Now, I know Venezuela's got a lot of issues over there, for sure, and I have to educate myself a little bit more, and I'd be happy to do a little show on that too. I actually have I'm a friend of a family in Venezuela who I met on a trip one time, and they're fantastic people and have always had an open door to go visit and everything, but I haven't yet, or don't know if I can at this point, Jesus. But it's one of those things where he's doing a State of the Union address, and he is just on the showroom, basically, just showing that he's just ready to do a coup or help overthrow the government of Venezuela right up front there. I don't know how to respond to this. The absolute ridiculousness and ludicrousness of this so-called president we have. I guess he's president. Fuck, I don't know. This is like a movie. It's absolutely ridiculous that he's just been allowed to do this. If people are standing and clapping for this, these sheep in Congress, these cattle, spineless cattle in Congress, I can't. I'm at my wit's end. I swear I'm at my wit's end. I think most people are too. God, let's just cut through the shit. Let's get Bernie Sanders up and running, someone who actually is for us and not part of this establishment, this bullshit that keeps happening. And let's just cut through all this red tape and get some things actually properly done for us as a country, as a people. Let's evolve. There's progress in the word progressive. Let's make some progress. Let's progress as a species in this stale, stagnant, even retrograding political system we have right now. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I'm done. I can't say a word about this. My head's about ready to explode. I'll catch you in the next podcast. TheDailyWalrus.com